Well, hello there, Bethel Nation. I'm Chad.
I'm Cam.
Look at us.
Look at us.
We're back again.
What are we doing?
The Cham Show. Wearing the same clothes for a week.
And I've heard our ratings have taken a nosedive. I don't know.
Have they?
I don't know. I hear rumors on the street.
Yeah?
Just on the, just stuff on the street about us. I don't know.
Just street talk about
Street
us?
talk, yeah. Maybe it's true. I don't really know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see.
It doesn't matter to me.
We'll see if the maybe we're just losing some of the millions of adoring fans.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's crazy.
We're happy that you're here with us. We're always glad that you can join us.
Yes, we are.
Listening to sometimes the mindless ramblings of two guys.
Two guys that I don't know.
I don't even know what we know sometimes.
I don't know either.
I don't know is the day of today. It's the thought of the day. No, we're glad that you're here with us.
Yes,
we're working
we are.
our way through the Sermon on the Mount. We finished up chapter 5 yesterday.
We did. That's right.
Yeah, we putting a button on that and closed it on up, and now we're kind of moving into chapter 6, and you're gonna bite off
Yes.
a pretty big chunk because it's all kind of under the same theme.
I sure am, Chad. So yes, we're going to take a look at the beginning of chapter 6, still part of Jesus' Sermon on the Mount.
Yep.
Chapters 5, 6, and 7. And I'm going to read quite a few verses here. Now, one thing I do want to say is that part of what I'm about to read will cover the Lord's Prayer. And I'm not going to really get into that because you and I actually did a whole series on the Lord's Prayer.
It was beautiful.
I don't know, a month ago, 2 months ago,
Single
something like
tier.
that.
It's all running together. It might have been longer than that ago.
So I'm not going to really break down the Lord's Prayer. We've already done that, but I am going to show how it fits with the overall theme that Jesus is touching on here. So, all right, so we're going to read the first 18 verses. So bear with me here. All right. Jesus is speaking. Beware of practicing your piety before others in order to be seen by them, for then you have no reward from your Father in heaven. So whenever you give alms, do not sound a trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, so that they may be praised by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward. But when you give alms, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your alms may be done in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and at the street corners, so that they may be seen by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward. But whenever you pray, go into your room and shut the door and pray to your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. When you are praying, do not heap up empty phrases as the Gentiles do, for they think that they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask Him. Pray then in this way: Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. And do not bring us to the time of trial, but rescue us from the evil one. For if you forgive others their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. And whenever you fast, do not look dismal, like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces so as to show others that they are fasting. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward. But when you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face, so that your fasting may not be seen by others, but your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. So even though Jesus touches on several different things here, one of the things that he seems to touch on here is about how we go about practicing, I guess, our faith and the motivation behind practicing our faith.
Yep.
So one of the interesting things about this is that, back in chapter 5, Jesus said, you're like a city on a hill, and you're meant to be seen by everybody, just like a city on a hill can be seen. And Jesus said, just like, you don't cover up a lamp, because the lamp's purpose is to show the light and to be seen. So it may sound a little contradictory here when Jesus is now saying, hey, when you pray, go in secret and pray to God in secret. But I think we can kind of distinguish between the two pretty easily. I mean, in the first order, when Jesus is saying, hey, you're a city on a hill, you're meant to be seen by everybody, you're like a lamp with a very powerful and bright light, he's talking about love.
Yeah.
He's talking about showing love, showing grace, showing mercy, blessing people. Here he's talking more about people that are doing things for show and doing things to boost their ego and to receive some kind of external reward for it. That we're not called to live that way. That when it comes to praying and it comes to giving, that we're not meant to do that to win praise, accolades, for that ego boost, for other people to pat us on the back. That's not the purpose of it. And that when it comes to, in some ways, practicing our faith, we're to do it quietly, with humility, and to do it not just in the right way, but with the right motivation as well. And so that underlies praying. I think that underlies worship, Bible study.
Yeah.
We've all known people that can quote the Bible like that, and they do it frequently. And you always kind of get the feeling they're doing it just to show you how much they know, and that kind of stuff. And that's not what it's about at all, of course. Fasting, this was a practice, and still today we're often called to fast. I think about Lent. You've probably known that person that gives up something for Lent, and every day complains about
that thing they gave
what
up.
they've given up, and you're like, oh wow, Jesus is saying, hey,
some chocolate.
Don't even tell people what you've given up. That's between you and God. That's for your own personal spiritual growth.
Yep.
It's not for other people to be, enchanted with your personal piety. So he's talking about hypocrisy here. He's talking about being genuine in your practice of your faith and your spiritual growth, to do it with integrity, to do it with a sense of humility, and and not for that external reward.
How many candles or lamps do you know that when you turn them on, they go, "Hey, everybody, I'm a lamp.
Look at me.
Look at me. I'm bright and I'm awesome and I'm shedding all this light." That's really the idea to me about all this stuff is, what is the basis of why you're doing that. And in this particular passage, he's really confronting those that are doing it on account of pride or account of building themselves up. But the idea is why do we do what we do, which once again we've talked about a few times. And so to me that's what. But I just love some of the stuff that he says here. I love the blowing the horns when I'm giving to the needy. To me it's one thing to be like, hold your coin up and then drop it in. But this goes to the extreme, like, burr, 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 burr. That's all I can picture, right?
That's pretty crazy.
Hear ye. I give this to those that need it less than me. And how many times, does that attitude follow us? I think it's one of the things we talk about on mission trips all the time. That these people, let's face it, most people that live, we're a couple paychecks away from being on the street, like a lot of the people that we serve on trips, and we're the same. And I think sometimes we get this attitude like, look at me, I'm super, I'm come to help these people. When in truth, they're the ones helping us. And if we live life, I think in an open way, we gain from every interaction that we have just as much as they gain. And I think to me, that's really what this is about. I also like in the fasting that they disfigure their face. Like they do these things.
Dirt on their face.
Yeah, they're like, oh, look at me, I'm dying,
so hungry,
I've given up so much, and I just think it's an extreme fakeness.
Religious posers. Yeah, that's what it is. It's just religious. You know, Chad, you brought up something really that I hadn't thought about, and that's so good. Missions. You know,
Yeah.
churches, we go on mission trips. We do mission work. We call it mission. And you know, a lot of people today are moving away from that phrase mission work, because it does imply the idea that, you know, I'm up here,
Yeah.
and I'm going to help these people down here. And so, you know, something that I've started to come across is the word solidarity. Our calling, we're going to go and be in solidarity with these people,
Yeah.
and co-equally minister to each other. And I kind of like that,
Well,
because it does get us away from this benevolent charity kind of, you know, I'm here to give you poor people,
Yeah.
da 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 da, and it, you know, which is not much of a relationship, which is what we really want to build, are the relationships.
Well, I think anytime you're going on a short-term mission trip, it's to help build you in your knowledge and your quest, and you know, create solidarity between whatever group you're with and whatever they're trying to accomplish. And so I've always felt like that kind of stuff was backwards. Our idea of how it really worked was backwards, and usually a lot of times, at least on youth mission trips, we're the ones that benefit from the interaction.
Right.
We get to see things and grow and learn. And I think, man, if we just spent time, and this goes back, it was one of the things I wanted to say yesterday, and I don't want to make it super long today, but one of the things I wanted to say yesterday with the enemies, if we just spent time knowing people's stories,
You're right.
if we just spent time knowing where people came from, why they are where they are, and who they are, I think the world would be a better place. There are so many great stories. There's so many great people that are around us all the time that we are often too busy with our own lives to know what they're about, and we're missing out. There are ways that we can learn from everyone around us, and so I think humility and how we approach people is really
I
important.
mean, how many bullies are bullies because they were bullied?
Yeah.
And you hear there's, you know, so you're right. If you hear somebody's story, or you get to know somebody and they start to share deep, painful things from their past, all of a sudden, it's just like when you're a kid. You know, when you're a kid, you look at your parents like, you know, why are they doing these things? These people are crazy. And then, you know, when you get to be a parent, all of a sudden, you look at your parents differently. You're like, boy, you have a whole new understanding, and it humanizes your parents, and you start to understand their struggles, because now I have the struggles.
Yeah.
So you're right. Getting to know people can break down a lot of barriers.
I think it would pull us away from this idea to think that we're better than anybody else, or that we're doing anything better than anybody else, when in truth we're all just working together. There's a path, and we're all trying our best to navigate as well as we can. So, well, there's a little thought from us today as we look at prayer and fasting and humility and what it means for us. I think if you have anything to say, because there's a lot that can be said here that we didn't even touch on.
That's right.
Definitely comment and lead in below. And, you know, if you want to scroll on back a little bit and look at what we had to say about the Lord's Prayer, you can. We spent some time there. But we're just glad that you're here to listen to us, to interact with us. We appreciate the community. We hope that you're coming together as a family and with us in community to talk and have this conversation as we try to learn and grow. As always, we love you. We're praying for you. We'll see you next time.
All right, peace.